One to port now.
See how many drinks you take.
Another one to port now.
The Aztec just rolled up on an impressive school of bluefin tuna. The offshore guys are seeing lots of fish. Sometimes they bite and sometimes they don't. But they are throwing a ton of bait at this fish, and it's reacting very, very well. You still need to bring some 25-pound fluorocarbon in addition to 30 and 40 when fishing offshore, because you just never know if these fish are going to be finicky. Impressive schools. Hopefully they settle and bite Aztec on a good one. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This Thursday morning, there's a pretty brisk breeze blowing onshore here this morning. Got to be over 10 knots hitting me in the back right now. It's sunny and warm and cool and breezy all at the same time here in SoCal. It's gorgeous, however, and there is so much to catch you up on in the world of sport fishing, both from Baja California and in here to Southern California and even north of there. Wow, I'll tell you, is that big bluefin tuna back on the bite again? Kinda. We'll explain in a moment. Coronado Islands are red hot. It just keeps going. And the Endeavor with another huge white sea bass hit up there in the Channel Islands. We have a trip leaving here shortly with some openings. I'm going to be telling you about that in just a moment. Of course, we'll watch the local scene, the island scene, and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is it good to be with you all? Some of you know I'm out at the Orange County Fair bartending till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, it's been a busy month for me, and it's going to continue that way. But I got to see so many great friends, and every single night people come up and tell me how much they love Friedman Adventures. That means the world to me. Let me tell you, Albert Ponce, his wife Crystal, and their kids, they were there last night. It was so great to see them. And how about Captain Jared and the great friends he brought over to say hello? We spent some time together. He runs the Gale Force out of LA Harbor, and it was so good to see him. Spent a little bit of time with him. We'll talk about what the Gale Force did yesterday at Catalina Island. Little hint, limits of calico bass, some really good fishing. All right, if you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Share these videos with a friend, and also subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. That means the world to us. You can also watch us on Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok, and of course Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So great to be with you all here this morning. Hey, let me get to that Endeavor trip right now, because it's going August 1st through the 3rd. A 2-day trip. The moon phase should be perfect. That's got white sea bass written all over it. And the Endeavor out of Ventura Sportfishing is one hard rig to get on. Tucker McCombs is booked up all the time, and a couple of spots just opened up with Eddie Berrigan, who's a dear friend of mine. His daughter Bella is our model for all of our merchandise. He'll put on a great charter for you. It's limited to only 18 people. It's going to sell out fast. Here's Eddie's phone number if you want to go catch a sea bass. 805-754-0920. Give Eddie a call and get on that trip. That is going to be a good one. You know, we're seeing a lot more anchovy around here now also. But where is the albacore that I promised you for the 3rd year in a row? Well, they're certainly up there in Washington, where the legend is hammering on albacore, but that's a long ways north of here. I don't know if they're going to show up or not. Conditions are perfect offshore. The water is still cool enough in some pockets, and with all that anchovy, you would think that it was going to happen, but it looks like I may have egg in my face again for another year. Let's take you down south to Ensenada, where fishing's been great. I mean, there's barracuda and calico bass. There's yellowtail zooming around on the local scene. It's for real sport fishing. That is one great operation down there. I will tell you that you can have some fun, catch some fish. It's a great operation. Blackfin sport fishing with good barracuda and calico bass. really good inshore stuff going on. Now you get offshore, you find the right kelp paddy, and you're likely to come up with some great yellowtail fishing on fish that range from 8 to 20 plus pounds. There's some nice kelp paddy yellows around and a lot more Dorado starting to flush up the Baja coast into the Ensenada area. We're seeing that. We have yet to get that big hit on yellowfin tuna for anybody else but Sean Morgan on the Wild and Sack, a yacht that was coming up from Cabo and headed to Ensenada, 40 miles below Ensenada, had 25 yellowfin. Forget exactly what it was about a week ago or so, but we haven't seen any follow-up to that at all. Look for that in the very near future. So excellent fishing for the guys down there in Ensenada. And man, I'll tell you, you take that 70-mile drive down south on that beautiful Baja Peninsula, stop for a fish taco or two. You can even stop at Puerto Nuevo and dine on lobster, or go see my friend over there at La Huerita in Rosarito Beach, Tony Lozano. He has such great food there. Or go to La Estancia in Rosarito Beach and have a big steak. Man, I'll tell you, you can't beat it. Baja California hospitality, Ensenada biting very, very well. Long range situation is fantastic right now. We're seeing all kinds of boats just put the wood to them. Yesterday, or I guess it was the day before, the Independence had an epic day of yellowfin tuna fishing, wide open, YFT on mostly 40 to 70 pound fish. It doesn't get much better than that. So they started to head back up the Baja coast and went into the coast yesterday, and they had white sea bass and sheephead. They had excellent fishing. Calico bass were wide open. Great stuff as they moved back up the Baja Peninsula and pointed toward home. Royal Polaris at Alijos Rocks on the anchor. Great yellowfin and wahoo fishing. When that slowed up, they trolled around. They found even more wahoo. This morning they're fishing yellowtail, and they're catching some nice, great big yellows. Here this morning, the Red Rooster 3, big yellows. They had white sea bass in the Intrepid with wide open yellowtail fishing. Those 8-day trips are doing great down the Baja Peninsula right now. I don't know how you can beat that. Tax problems? Call Tim Marquez right now. He's been doing this for 35 years, and if you need heating and or air conditioning help, you want to call John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Let's look at this big bluefin tuna. Now we're talking about boats from San Diego all the way up to Redondo, and Channel Islands guys could fish it also. But right now they got their hands full with some great white sea bass fishing, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Those big bluefin are starting to manifest again. Some guys had some really, really good hits on them. Other guys just scratched at them. Moon phase is going to come into a situation where it's going to get really, really good. When the moon got full last night, according to Will Hogue on the El Dorado out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, the fish just started to shut off. They had some pretty good flashes of excellence on the El Dorado. I mean, they lost 6 or 7 on one spot, but Will thinks it's moon phase and it's going to get back on the bite right now. They had 7 bluefin on board the El Dorado. 4 of those fish over the 100-pound mark. So that certainly sounds pretty darn good. They have a reverse day-and-a-half trip that leaves in the daytime to optimize your nighttime fishing on the 3rd. So you'll keep your eyes on that one. That should be about right on the moon phase. 200-pound bite leader, 100-pound spectra, and jigs in the 350-gram range have been working really well. But depends upon wind and current. You might have to go up to a 500-gram jig if it is all necessary. Let me give you some scores now to give you an idea that that big bluefin is starting to get back on the bite near San Clemente Island, near San Nicolas Island. Islander 3-day trip, 23 bluefin to 180 pounds. They had 33 yellows to 30 pounds. Pacific Dawn, these are all 2+ day trips. 30 bluefin tuna to 220 pounds. Excalibur, a 2.5-day trip. 15 bluefin to 200 pounds. Highliner, 2.5-day trip, 13 bluefin, 65 yellowtail, and a Dorado fishing the kelp stand below. Polaris Supreme, day-and-a-half trip, 23 bluefin. Pegasus, nice hit, 35 bluefin, 28 over the 100-pound mark. My buddy Sean Hardigan is on that rig now, doing really, really good. Tomahawk, 25 bluefin, 100 to 180 pounds. Navigante out of Redondo had 5 bluefin tuna over the 100-pound mark. Those big bluefin are starting to show. The moon phase is going to get really, really good. And I say, buenos dias to Valentino as he goes by me right now. So it's starting to get back on the bite. And I think Will is absolutely right. I think it is moon phase, and we're going to get into a very good phase here in the next couple of days. Look for that big bluefin to even get better, and we are all about that. That could be really phenomenal stuff. Those kelp patties continue to produce south of San Diego, but it's all about finding the right kelp, the one that wants to bite. You can hit 10 kelps in a day and find that lucky one that really wants to bite at the very end, or you can find one early, or you can't find one at all, or just scratch at the fish. Sometimes they're very finicky and they don't want to bite, so you're dropping down to 25-pound fluorocarbon, and sometimes they'll eat the 30 or 40-pound fluorocarbon with mostly smaller circle hooks working best of all. The yellows on the kelps are 8 to 20 plus pounds. There's bluefin mixed up with it, and we've seen a lot more dorado moving in. You're going to see a lot more of that as that warm water pushes up the Baja coast. Our September trip on the Apollo out of sea for 2 days is going to be a great one. Don't miss it. Text me if you'd like to get on it. Just a few spots left on that great trip. Man, that warm water, it sets up for those trips where you have all that variety, and that's what we are looking forward to. So once again, that kelp patty situation down below San Diego is good if you find the right kelp patty, and it can be very, very slow if you do not bring that variety of tackle. For the most part, if you have 25 to 40 pound, you're going to be in really, really good shape. We don't see any of that big bluefin turn around, so no need to bring the really heavy tackle. Although, if you have it, what the heck, bring it, just in case. But we really don't see that much of it around right now. All right, let's talk about the Coronado Islands and the islands in general, because it's been really great fishing. And I got to tell you, the Mission Bell, they have taken over at the Coronado Islands. That's not to say that several other boats are not catching, but the Bell has been doing fantastic. $1.07 on the yellowtail yesterday, 107 yellows. They range in size from 8-pounders to 20-plus pounders. They're biting mostly on bait with 25-pound fluorocarbon, perhaps best of all, with a good hot bait. And man, I'll tell you, they just keep putting the wood to them. That is not to say you can't catch some surface iron fish. Guys that are good at that have been hammering the yellows. In fact, Marcus Fain, who fishes a lot up and down the Southern California coast, he's been trying to or he was on here the other day talking about how he caught the bigger yellows, and it was throwing a surface iron like a mint Tatty 45. So keep that in mind. That is also a very good way to get it done. The San Diego had 88 yellowtail and good family fun. To be perfectly candid with you, I'm not sure if they fished the islands or they were offshore fishing a kelp. I think it was the islands. 88 yellowtail. They had families out there with them, and it was just family fun. In fact, if you do know where the San Diego fished yesterday, drop it down in comments for everybody to see. The Grande had 29 yellowtail, so they had some forkies again. Some of that's offshore on the kelps, but the Coronado Islands just remain excellent. For private boaters, a little tip came from Gino Machino, who was fishing there the other day. Gino said, it's better if you anchor. It's better for the whole group of anglers, private boaters. If everybody's anchored, it's just more manageable at that point. And Gino suggested you anchor in 80 to 110 feet of water to get the job done on those fish. You get a little bit too tight to the island, and you're catching mostly calico bass and barracuda. You want to catch yellowtail, get out in that little bit deeper water. And Gino says those fish just kind of swim in a circle. They'll come back to you, and you'll get bit, and then they'll leave you for a little bit, and they'll come back to you. Really great fishing going on at the Coronado Islands. I don't know how you can beat it. At San Clemente Island, we continue to see some really good hits. It's inconsistent for sure, but for the most part, it's been pretty darn good. The Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. They had 20 yellowtail. Nice hit for them. Thunderbird, 50 plus on the yellowtail. The fish range from small to some really nice ones, like 30 plus pounders. There's been some flashes of excellence with regard to white sea bass at San Clemente Island. They're fishing squid nest, your dropper loop fishing in the morning with 50-pound and a big hook, 5070 kind of hook, an 8-ounce torpedo sinker, and then daytime you were wandering around the island fishing squid and or sardine. There's been some good calico bass fishing and some more yellowtail, mostly smaller it seems like in the daytime. And then also you can load up on some rockfish if you want to do that. Catalina Island, We continue to see really good variety over there, and it seems like a yellowtail bite is imminent over there. You would think it's going to blow sky. There's a lot of white sea bass at Catalina Island also. I mentioned Captain Jared on the Gale Force. Great day yesterday with calico bass biting really, really well. He also had a yellowtail on board the Gale Force out of LA Harbor Sportfishing. Nice going, Jared. Once again, great to see you and the guys and gals last night. The El Patron, 5 yellowtail yesterday with 17 anglers and 50 calico bass. And both boats had a smattering of other rockfish and blue perch and, you know, stuff like that. Occasional sea bass, occasional halibut. That's also around. Incidentally, if you'd like to get on board the El Patron, you can do it right now by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. They are sold out until Monday when they have room, but they're running every single day. Limited load, great captain and crew, lots of fun. El Patron, get on the El Patron and have some fun over there at Catalina Island. So a good variety of fish. Up there in the Channel Islands, what can I tell you? Another great hit for the Endeavor, 47 on the white sea bass. This Tucker McCombs has done it again, man. He's been all over it. Mirage has had some good hits up there. There's been a little bit of sea bass up there in Santa Barbara. The Coral Sea yesterday had 8 white sea bass. Nothing wrong with that. And also, they had some pretty good calico bass fishing on the half-day boat out of Santa Barbara. So some good stuff going on. The Gray Light had 8 white sea bass yesterday. So there's been some good hits going on. And again, the Endeavor has been all over it. It's mostly dropper loop fish with squid. It's working really well. Endeavor, August 1st through the 3rd. Call Eddie if you want to get those last few spots. 805-754-0920. The Island Spirit up there's been fishing local rockfish. They're going to be out for the next several days. Kids fish free this Sunday on board the Island Spirit up there at Ventura. Saturday should be a great day. They're fishing combo fishing, so they're trying for sand and calico bass at times, barracuda. They're trying to catch sea bass and halibut. There's been a few yellowtail boiling around the Island Spirit here recently, and the fallback is great rock fishing. Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. You'll have a great time with Captain Daniel Hottaway and the great crew on the Island Spirit. Go get a good burger in there from Bert. You're going to love that also. So some pretty good stuff up there in the Channel Islands. No doubt about it. We'll cover now the local situation. Down there in San Diego, decent bass fishing. At times, a lot of shorts. Up there around Dana Wharf, same kind of a situation. Up here in the LA Orange County area, we're seeing a lot more sand bass, but inconsistent for sure. There's a lot of chovy in the bait right now. Seeing more and more anchovy, and that works great for the bass, either sand or calico bass. And again, dropping that fluorocarbon down to 15-pound when you're fishing bass will make all the difference in the world. GT4 fluorocarbon, Promar Ahi, more line, less money. You should get some today, and you'll get another 10% off when you go to promarahi.com and put in FA, Friedman Adventures, FA, at checkout. Try that new fluorocarbon. You are going to love it, and you get a bargain by purchasing it. No question about it. Up there in the Marina del Rey, Redondo area, a lot of rockfish and sculpin, occasional sea bass. They had one they released on the Redondo special. At times, some good bass fishing. The better bass fishing seems to be on the twilight trips. And up in the Channel Islands, we just kind of covered what was going on with the Island Spirit. Hey, local guys, a guy, and I'm not sure about his name. I think he has a YouTube channel. I'm not sure about that. A Waterman's Life. Check out this big old halibut he caught yesterday.
All right, water people, check this out. Nice big old Opa kill bag right here. Got a nice little surprise in there. We got a California halibut, massive halibut. Can't even get it in the stream. Woo! That is a big boy right there. 43.5 inches, boat weight of 38 pounds.
Outstanding catch, and I think, again, it's a Waterman's Life on YouTube. It was a little bit not clear exactly, but I think you'll find him there. if you'd like to see more of his content. Heck of a catch, big fish, bait, and tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, on the corner of Seal Beach and Pacific Coast Highway. They have all the bait you'll ever need to really be productive here in the SoCal surf. Just finishing up a grunion run here, so we should get back to some really good fishing. Sometimes during grunion runs, we see the fish really get full, so we'll see if they want to bite. We only have a few more days left in July. And remember, Big Fish Bait and Tackle will be giving away a new custom fishing rod, a surf fishing rod. They give it away every month, but you'll be able to take advantage of that. It's for the largest spot fin croaker this month. Next month, it'll be another one. All you have to do is walk in there and buy their ruler, and you're in the contest for the rest of the year, and every single month another custom rod. Some pretty good surf fishing down there around Huntington Beach. A lot of yellowfin croaker, but more and more corvina starting to bite down that way. And also we have seen some halibut taken down there recently, a few barred perch here. There's been some excellent yellowfin croaker fishing, but a very slow day yesterday. We'll see if that doesn't get going again. 4 hours, that window, 2 hours before the high tide until 2 hours after, is a good time to fish up in the Santa Monica Bay. A lot of corvina around the Topaz Rock Jetty, up to around Santa Barbara area, a little bit of cold water. So it's been slow in the surf, but that should rectify here soon. There's been quite a bit of barred perch up there in that cooler water, however. All right, big bluefin tuna starting to bite again. It's great to see that back, and I think it's going to only get better with this moon phase coming up. And also some good kelp paddy fishing, especially if you find that right kelp. Great fishing in Ensenada. Love what's going on the long range scene, and our islands continue to produce, with the Coronado Islands as good as I've seen it for many, many decades. Listen, my friends, have a great one. Thanks to all of you for all you do for Friedman Adventures. It is deeply appreciated, and I hope to see you really, really soon.